Salvete, spectatores. Um, I have no particular reason for streaming this, but I kind of just want to stream me further translating my Latin texture pack. Of course, the translations in game won't change live because I don't have that kind of ability. That'd be pretty cool. That would be very convenient. I don't have that ability though. A little unfortunate. Um, but I would like to just kind of. Hold on, I gotta fix my audio because I don't like. Oh, I'll keep it as is. Oh, goddamn! Excuse me. Um, I just kind of wanted to stream my I guess my process of how I've been translating Latin. This is I don't actually think I should probably keep like an actual log of what I changed every time I update my texture pack. Actually, you know what? Why don't I do that right now? Let's go into my Latin texture pack. I'll make a update dot text. That's a Z dot text. There we go. And then actually, I should probably change the manifest. This is now version 006, or at least the equivalent of 006. I didn't change that for my most recent update, but I figured I should do that. Right. So, I updated this a few days ago. I guess I could show you uh a little bit of what I have down. I don't remember everything that I've translated because a decent amount of it is like it's it's all over the place. I've been trying to um do them in a more paradigmatic order. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I've been trying to do them not in order, but in an organized way. But anyway, I've translated not all of the wooden items, but definitely most of them. Uh Let us get some of the blocks here. Oh yes, the names are quite long. Hold on, actually, let me turn off some of my uh other texture packs, because I know for a fact that uh I know I did something to my personal texture pack I like using a lot, and it made the names have like an ellipses at the end of everything. It's kind of annoying. It's okay, but oh no. the fucking the name has two layers. Oh god. Oh no, that's fun. That's hilarious. I didn't actually know. It didn't do that before. That's funny. All right, so uh here we have, very basic block. Uh we have oak planks, and I'll go with you. Why does my menu still look a little different? Do I have a texture pack on the world? It doesn't look like I do. Strange. Uh, yeah, weird. All right. Oh yeah, I've translated a bit of the UI. As you can see, that says Fabrica. Up in the top right, it says Constructio. Constructio Lassa Aliquae natura omnia. I've translated a decent amount of things. Alright, I'll go. So fucking long, dude. Alright, I'll go with you. I'll tell you, like, exactly what all these words mean. Alright, so tabulae, let's like dissect this, right? Tabulae means boards. So tabula is singular, tabulae is plural. Tabulae means boards. It's the closest equivalent I could find of like something that's like a blank slate, like a plank. It really just means boards. It's where we get the word table. The word for table in Latin is uh, mensa. It's where Spanish and we get the word for mesa. Uh, in Spanish, table is mesa, but in Latin it's mensa. Um, but it is where we get the word for mesa, like in mesa biomes, for example, in Minecraft. Kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, tabulae means boards. The A, tabulae A, uh, by itself means out from or out of, and it is implied that it means something that is made from, or it's like is a preposition for something that's like. All right, I'll leave it at that. So first, tabulae equals boards. A equals out of or from. It could also just mean from by like although that's a little rarer, you would just translate it as from. But A it means out of or out from. Ligno means wood. There are many words for wood in Latin. There are many words for wood in Latin, but ligno is the ablative of um lignum, which means wood. So lignum means wood. And quercus, um, so not to go on like a whole rant about how Latin works, but quercus is one of the numerous words of Latin's fourth declension. English doesn't have declensions. We have cases, barely. They're holding on by a single thread in English in our language. But Latin has cases, but that's not what we're talking about. Not yet. But quercus is a fourth declension noun, and quercus, uh, without any context, can be singular, plural, or it can be like possessive. So it can mean like of quercus. It can mean quercuses, or it can just mean quercus. And what quercus means is, if I remember correctly, it is an oak tree. I think it more just means oak, but hold on, let me double check. I probably should know this. Um, yes, it can mean an oak tree. So, quercus means oak tree. But I also said it can mean in English oak tree, oak trees, or of an oak tree. So, tabulae a lignoquercus means boards made from the wood of an oak tree. The same goes for here. So tabulae a ligno, that stays the same for these three are redundant. I'm gonna have to do I still have those? I'll have to change those because it's not supposed to be so redundant like that. I would also explain why these names are so long. Or it contributes to the reason. But tabulae a ligno picei. Picei is the genitive of piceia, which means it's more like a fir tree, but it's fir. It's a spruce tree. Like, hold on. Spruce. Fir has two. When you're talking about the tree, anyway, it has two R's, right? I think so. I'll put one. Means of a spruce or fir tree. I probably should have done that for quercus, said of an oak tree, but it's too late. And again, betuli means of a birch tree. Ceibai means of a jungle tree. In a sense, Acacia means of an acacia tree, and there's no, well, excuse me. I often have to take creative liberty in naming some of this, but this literally means of a dark oak tree. 'Cause, never mind. But yeah, no, it goes for these. Tabulae a ligno quercus obscuri means boards made from the wood of a dark oak tree. That's what obscura means, or obscuri. Obscura means dark. It means dark, so it's like a dark oak. Yeah, you get it. Now, the reason why I say that these three have redundant words is because I have both lignei and ligno in the same name. So lignei is the nominative plural, or the feminine nominative plural, but I will show you the nominative masculine singular, ligneus. Ligneus means wooden. And if you're talking about boards, I feel like it would be pretty obvious, but there are circumstances where tabula doesn't mean board. So there's circumstances and contexts where, yeah. Before I had it as tabulae lignei, because I translated the name wrong, so that's why I fixed it and did a ligno arboris paludosae, ceraceae, and quercus pallidi. However, I forgot to remove the lignei from these three. So first I'll dissect this correctly and not with the incorrect name that I have here. So arboris means of a tree, and paludosae means marshy. So of a marshy tree. And, mangrove trees are, unless you're making a farm, they only spawn in swamps, and I'd say those are pretty marshy. So it's the wood of a marshy tree. But if you want to dissect what I have incorrectly translated right here, this would be wooden boards made from the wood of a marshy tree. That's why it's redundant, is because it's wooden boards made from the wood. There's two wood. There's wooden and wood in the same. It's redundant. So I feel it's like I'm emphasizing the wood part. That goes for here too. So for these three, ignore the lignei after tabuli. All right, pretend that doesn't exist. So this is tabuli e ligno arboris palidosae, boards made from the wood of a marshy tree. Tabuli e ligno cerasi, or cerasi, means boards made from the wood of a cherry tree. And they didn't have fucking blossoms. They didn't have a word for blossoms. They would have just said like the flower of a tree. Excuse me. But yes, kerasi means a cherry tree. Or of a cherry tree. Kerasis would be cherry tree by default, you know. So this means the correctly, this means the boards, or it means boards made from the wood of a cherry tree. Same here. It's translated without my redundant use of lignei. It means the boards. It means boards made from the wood of a pale oak tree. That's what this literally means. I need to fix these three. And in fact, now that I'm done, I'm going to actually see if I fixed this earlier. Because sometimes I do that and I just fucking forget. Oh, I can actually test this. Ooh, I don't like how many I'm seeing here. I did not fix this, so let's just remove the lignei from right there. Oh, that's fine. That's talking about the tools. If it's talking about the I don't care about the tools. There's the, so I did the pale oak, so this is the, what the fuck do you call it? The mangrove, this is the mangrove tree. Oh, I did it for that too? I'll fix that while I'm here. Both of those. Apparently I mistranslated. I have lignei for the bamboo. I guess we'll look at that here in a second. And here's the cherry wood. Get rid of that, and there we go. Alright, I've now fixed that. That will be part of update 007. So yeah, that's 9 of the woods. And then, of course, you see here it says lignei. Now, I've actually already fixed these two because I felt I had translated them wrong. So, let's get rid of these. Obviously, we have these woods here. We have, again, translated correctly, we have boards made from canes. So canes, as you can infer, is canis. That is the ablative plural of cana, which means a cane, singular. So cana is a cane, cani is plural. Now, I've tried to do research. I do not think, as I've concluded, I don't think there is any relation between the word cani and the location cani. I figured I should point that out. is that I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence that their names like like letter for letter the exact same. I'm pretty sure they're not related. Maybe they are. But if so, that'd be pretty cool. All right. Translated correctly, this means well, again, ignore the lignei because it's redundant, especially it doesn't make sense for these four. So, translated correctly, this means boards made from canes. And I guess I should probably, like, I already fixed this too, I think. Well, yeah, no, I just did. Can't, no, I want to search cannies. Find cannies. Um, where is the tab? Oh, right here. So, the reason I want to fix this one, I've already fixed the lignei part just as of like 3 minutes ago. The reason I want to fix this again is because what this literally means, like what this literally translates to, again, ignoring lignei, means boards made from tessellated canes. Now, I'm pretty sure the the boards themselves are tessellated, not the canes. So I'm going to fix tabulae e canis tessellatis and change it to tabulae tessellatae e canis, which would mean the tessellated boards made from canes. That's what I would. That's what would be the correct translation. Moving on to the crimson planks. Now, again, I have fixed. Um, this is a while ago. I fixed this issue. Um, I just hadn't updated it in a while. The this literally means the wooden crimson boards or the purple wooden boards. What I've changed it to is tabulae e fungo purpureo. And what that means in English is boards made from a crimson mushroom. And arguably that's a better variant. And I did the same for the warped planks. Rather than warped wooden boards, I've translated them as tabulae e fungo incarvato, which means boards made from a writhing mushroom or a twisting mushroom. I don't think writhing is the correct word, but I thought it sounded cool. It's also not used too much anymore. But yeah, I've translated these woods, but as you've seen, I haven't translated them correctly. Um, I've translated all of the walls. I will say a decent amount of them are translated incorrectly, especially as I've recently realized that there is a specific nuance um I did not catch on to. Um, it's not a bad thing. Well, I mean, it is because I translated it wrong. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But um, first, I want to dissect. Oh my god. First, I want to dissect this name for you. This is, as you can see, a Murus latericius el lapide negro nitido. Now, what this means in English is a bricked wall made from shiny black stone. The problem with this translation is the brick part, the latericius in the name. Latericius is an adjective coming from another Latin word, later, which means a brick. Now, in English, the same meaning for brick is pretty universal. However, in English, the meaning of brick often broadens to other materials. That is not the case with Latin. In all cases in Latin, and the, again, original meaning for brick in English is a brick specifically made out of clay. With that in mind, this means a clay bricked wall made from shiny black stone. So you have like conflicting things here. The wall's made from clay bricks, but it's also made out of the shiny black stone. That doesn't make sense. So I talked with a goofy robot, and it's like, you should probably use a different adjective, and I'm like, well, no shit. But it's like you should call it you should probably call it something that's like buildable, because it's a material, it's something you use, for structures. It's whatever. Um, so if we go to Blackstone, let me find the name. That's just a regular Blackstone wall. Oh, here. What I retranslated it to is murus e lapide structili nigro nitido, which means a wall made from uh the word was on the tip of my tongue. I just said it. Buildable. So hold on. It means a wall made from buildable shiny black stone. The buildable part is supposed to mean, bricks, but whatever. This is one of the longer names, and even with my revised translation, I think it's in fact longer than this one. Well, no, it will be longer. It's a little bit shorter, but I know it will be longer because I again fucked things up. Trial and error. But yes, this is definitely one of the longer names. And even if I had the updated name, even though it still is incorrect, it would still be 2 lines long, as it is in the game. But we can also look at some of the other things I have, some of the other walls. So yeah, no, these are all translated, albeit mostly incorrectly. Incorrectly. So here, if I search up Lateriki, all of these, except all but one of the things in this, alright, all but 3 of the things in this list here are incorrectly translated. Or 2. All but 2 things are incorrectly translated in here. The things that are correctly translated are the brick stairs and the brick wall, because obviously they're made out of clay. Thus, it actually would be correct, verbiage to use lateriki or latericius. So this would be accurate translation because these are in fact made out of clay bricks. That is how you make clay in Minecraft, is by cooking clay and making it into a brick. Again, I need to change a lot of these. But yes, I've... Alright. Now, I'm sure you all know. The name for this in, English is a lot shorter and with far fewer syllables than this. This is a crafter. And in Latin, I found it fitting to name it a later. I shall see you all later.